Come Monday, the government will be soliciting more of your suggestions on curbing crime. Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage sat down with ZNS News to share his thoughts on the first forum and recent additions to the crime-fighting strategy, which may have caused some controversy.
We were able to sit and listen to them as we intended to do, hear what their concerns were. But the most productive aspect of the entire thing, in my opinion, was the wide range of ideas that people have. You know, there are a lot of things they spoke about that we are already doing, and they may not necessarily be aware of that. But there were some fairly original ideas as well, and some of them were such that we could almost implement them right away. And so it was a very pleasant experience. People were not generally combative, although we did have our little drama. But on the whole, it was we regarded it as successful, because not only were there people there in the hall, but there were people who followed it on television, by viewing television, and people who followed it on their computers, even people outside of the Bahamas. So it was very, very, very encouraging.
The Labour Minister admits that government is not satisfied with unemployment numbers released by the Department of Statistics yesterday. Those numbers reveal nearly 32,000 people are unemployed, and it represents a spike in the unemployment rate over the last 6 months.
Obviously, with unemployment rate going up, it is something that no government want to see.
Despite a decline last year, the latest results of the Labour Force survey show a spike in unemployment numbers.
The unemployment rate for the country is now at 16.2%, and that is an increase from the last one conducted in November 2012, which stood at 14%.
That means just under 32,000 people are without jobs. Here in New Providence, the unemployment rate swelled from 13.1% to 15.9%, while Grand Bahama's rate jumped to 19.5% from 18%. The survey also shows that the labor force grew by 3.1% to 195,660 since the last survey in November. Statistician with the Department of Labor, Cipriana Winters, notes, however, some positive indicators like the significant decrease in discouraged workers.
And when we talk about discouraged workers, we're talking about those persons who are able and willing to work, but who were not employed, who didn't do any seeking activity. And so, as a result of an increased prospective business projects in the country, more persons now are optimistic about finding jobs, and consequently, they rejoin the labor force. And by them rejoining the labor force, the number of unemployed persons increase.
And Minister Gibson is optimistic, arguing that the results highlight the state of unemployment 8 months ago, and since that time, there has been some positive activity in the job market.
And when you look at the fact that we've created some jobs in Bimini, we're creating some jobs in Freeport with the reef opening. We're looking at more jobs being created when Bahama open next year. I think the future looks good. It's unfortunate you can't make these things happen right away, but like I said, the fact you're looking at the figures up until May of this year, that is why you have those figures the way it is.
The opposition wasted no time in criticizing the government over the, quote, deeply troubling results. F&M Chairman Darren Cash says it's an indicator that government has had no meaningful impact on job creation. But Minister Gibson believes otherwise.
And so when you look at the state of the economy when the Free National Movement left office, if I were them, I would probably say the same thing. You know, I left you a broken economy, now you fix it and fix it right away. But the fact of the matter is it takes time to do these things, and I think we are well on our way to creating even more employment.
He says government remains committed to doing what is necessary to put more Bahamians to work.